just like that, it's time for our weekly roundup of all the things Lady just ain't gonna do this week. Number 1, Roe v. Wade overturned. Well, it finally happened, folks. In a 5-4 decision, the U.S. Supreme Court did what we knew they was finna do with an extremist majority: overturn Roe versus Wade. So here's how it all went down. Last year, the Supreme Court agreed to hear a case known as Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization. There was a claim brought by Mississippi's state health director, Dr. Thomas Dobbs, which challenged Mississippi's Gestational Age Act, which basically said you can't ban abortions prior to a certain point. In Mississippi, it was 15 weeks, and that means in that state, under the state law, you could get an abortion before the fetus reached 15 weeks. After that, the state had imposed a partial abortion ban, meaning that you could not provide abortions after 15 weeks, except in cases of medical emergency or severe fetal abnormality. Mind you, medical science says that a fetus cannot live outside the womb until between 22 and 24 weeks. That's a difference of a month and a half to 2 months later than the state law designates. Now, this law was passed in 2018, making existing laws in the state more restrictive. Mississippi already had laws on the books that were banning abortion after 20 weeks. So, Jackson Women's Health Organization challenged that law, claiming that it was unconstitutional because it challenged the precedent of Roe versus Wade, which guarantees the right to privacy when it comes to the decision about whether or not to have an abortion. Now, basically, Dobbs lost and lost and lost, and then a new Supreme Court with a 6-3 conservative majority agreed to hear the case on appeal. That's how we got here in the short term. But needless to say, Roe v. Wade has been in the crosshairs of the conservative movement for the better part of 30 years, and this time they prevailed. This decision is devastating, no doubt on so many levels. It's disastrous to the economic well-being of families, of women, and others who can get pregnant. It is disastrous to the physical well-being of people in this country not to be able to make decisions that are right for you and your specific circumstances. It's a devastating blow to our movement, and Lord knows we didn't need to take another L. And Lady is going to tell you a secret. The people who want to ban abortion on the strength of their religious beliefs are not the majority of this country. They do not represent a mandate, not even by a long shot. I mean, the reason we got here, honestly and truly, is because they vote. They vote over and over and over again for the people who share their values. They voted for a maniac to be the president, and then that maniac installed decision makers who would carry that mandate forward. My friends, November is coming. You really cannot do shit right now about the Supreme Court. They're like not an elected body. They're appointed by the President of the United States and confirmed by Congress. There's things the president can do to the Supreme Court, but we'll talk about that next week. You vote for president. You vote for Congress. This November, you will be voting for members of Congress, but you will also be voting for state representatives and municipal representatives. And while it may be less sexy, let me tell you how much power is in your vote. Since that Supreme Court ruling came down last week, state legislatures started passing their own laws about abortion. You vote for all them motherfuckers, and if you are pissed off about the Supreme Court shit, which I most definitely am, you can make your voice heard in your state. And the people who don't share your values can literally lose their jobs in just a couple months if you say so. I don't know about you, but I want to say so. And I'm going to continue to say so because I'm going to continue to vote and be in this shit for the long haul as long as we have the damn right to. I sure do hope that you join me. So let's fucking go. Sign up with the Black to the Future Action Fund to get involved in making the changes you want to see in your community. Check out the Electoral Action Center from the Black Futures Lab to find out who represents you. Let's get busy. Other things Lady just ain't gonna do this week. A civil trial that finds Bill Cosby sexually assaulted a 16-year-old at the Playboy Mansion. He's ordered now to pay $500,000 to the survivor. Well, I think we can all agree that Bill Cosby is a predator. Can we? I mean, I don't even want to say much more about it than that, but basically this week, a judgment against Bill Cosby happened during a civil trial that concluded This week where he basically sexually assaulted a 16-year-old girl at a party at the Playboy Mansion years ago, like in the 70s. Now, why was she there? The Luddites ask. Well, because he brought her there and her friend. Why did a grown-up bring a child to an adult party? Well, because he was catting off just like he'd been catting off for most of his career until he was put in jail for literally decades of sexual assault. Okay. Predator. Other things Lady ain't gonna do this week. It's been over 126 days and Brittney Griner is still being held hostage by Russia. This week, Griner's trial date was set for July 1st, and Griner was ordered to remain in custody for the duration of the trial. It's widely believed that Griner is a chess piece in a very dangerous conflict between Russia and the United States, exacerbated by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the U.S.'s aid to Ukraine to fight Russia. Griner's wife, Sherelle, was up in arms last week after it was announced that Griner would be able to communicate with family members. Brittney called and called and called the U.S. Embassy for a scheduled phone call to the tune of 11 times, the U.S. Embassy in Russia. 11 times, only to find that nobody was staffing the damn phones. At first, she thought it was interference from Russia, only to find out that it was the goddamn United States that dropped the ball. What kind of shit? We know likey. Free Brittney Griner. Here's what we want more of this week, though. Bee Wen handily wins runoff race for Georgia Secretary of State, and she is going to face off in November with Brad Raffensperger. Now, we talked about this last week, and we knew Bee was finna win, and she won like the boss that she is, like the kind of win where they called the race for her basically 30-something minutes after the polls closed. Bee be winning. Now it's on to November, where she will face what Lady thinks is a stiff but not insurmountable challenge, going up against the incumbent Secretary of State, who honestly only has a claim to fame because he, refused the overtures of Donald Trump to overturn the election. Well, basically, he said, I ain't finna cheat, fuck that. But look, he's not actually our friend, y'all. He's a Trump voter. He made it harder to vote in the state of Georgia once Black voters started handling business, adopting rules like preventing people from handing out water to voters who are standing in long-ass poll lines. Let me ask y'all something. Do y'all know anything at all about this damn Georgia heat? Now, I don't mind it on my porch, but I do not want it on a sidewalk in a line waiting to vote, especially without some damn water. You know what? I can't even break all this shit down for you. Let me see if I can get B on this here podcast, because we need to know firsthand what the real deal is. But needless to say, B is on the ballot, and there's a lot at stake. Other things Lady loves this week, Queen Bey is dropping an album at the end of July. Now, honey, imagine my joy when I woke up on whatever day it was to the news that the Queen is blessing us with another album, honey. And she was gracious enough to let us know it's coming soon, the end of July to be exact. Now, we know she loves us, and if that album is anything like the single she dropped this week with Queen Big Frida, we are here for it, honey. Other things Lady loves this week, the Warriors won the 2022 NBA championships. Now look here. Y'all know as an Oakland girl, I was not finna forget to say, welcome to the Warriors Invitational. Warriors beat the Celtics in 6, and thank God, honey. I mean, what else is there really to say except Bay Area? Warriors have won no fewer than 4 NBA championships, and we ain't trying to rush y'all or nothing, but we always ready for a 5th. Other things Lady likes this week is Drake's new album. It's not bad, it just feels like the last 3 albums from Drake with some house beats. But I don't know, don't take it from me. I'm not really like a house fan like that, but I am a Drake fan, and I am telling you, we heard this damn album already, okay? Now, argue with your mama on this one. It don't mean I'm not finna bump it, but it does mean I am not falling over myself about it. So there is that on that. There's no love notes this week, my darlings, but trust me, we got the fire for you next episode. I swear it, honey, because motherfuckers is trying me. Trust me on this one. We're going to have another love notes next week.